Welcome to the Gloria Show, where personal growth takes center stage. Founder and CEO of Personal Dynamics, Gloria Sloan, shares practical strategies to enrich your life, elevate your mindset, and empower your journey. As she reminds us, ultra-successful people never stop learning, reaching, and growing. Get ready for fresh insights and uplifting inspiration. Here's your host, Gloria Sloan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gloria Show. I am Gloria Sloan, and I'm so glad you are here with me today. Today, we're talking about something that can change the way you see yourself, your work, your future, and your value. We are talking about self-directing your knowledge. Now, that may sound like a big phrase, but let me bring it right down to real life. Self-directing your knowledge means learning to recognize what you already know, identify the skills you already have, and use those abilities intentionally as you move forward in life. It means understanding that your experience matters, your lessons matter, your natural gifts matter. Your hard-earned skills matter. And sometimes the very thing you are searching for is already inside you, waiting to be recognized, strengthened, and applied in a new way. Now, many people underestimate what they know because they've been doing it for a long time. And they think, oh, that's just something I do. But what feels normal to you may be highly valuable to someone else. That skill you used to use every day without thinking could be the bridge to your next opportunity. That experience you thought was behind you may be the foundation of your next chapter. That knowledge you gained years ago may be exactly what you need to step into something new today. So today we're going to slow down and look at your knowledge, your skills, your competencies, and abilities to keep learning as tools for growth. Because life does not just ask us to survive change. Life invites us to grow through change. And one of the most powerful ways we do that is by becoming self-directed learners. Yes, you know more than you think. I want to begin with this thought. You know more than you are using. Let me invite you to just embrace that phrase for a minute. You know more than you are using. Now let that sit in for a minute. You know more than you are using. Often we identify ourselves only by the roles we currently have and what we're using. Well, we say, I'm a teacher, I'm a manager, I'm a parent, I'm a business owner, I'm retired, and I am starting over. I am between things right now. But you are not limited to one title. You are a combination of experiences, lessons, observations, habits, talents, abilities, responsibilities, and decisions. Every season of your life has taught you something. Every job you have had has developed something in you. Every challenge you have survived has sharpened something in you. And every relationship, every responsibility, every opportunity, every setback, every success, every disappointment has contributed to your personal knowledge bank. So the question is not, do I have anything to offer? The better question is, have I taken the time to identify what I already have? Early in my career, I learned that everything I knew mattered. Even the things that seemed small at the time became useful later. I have had moments where I needed to just pull out a skill I had not used in years and apply it to a fresh opportunity. And people in business often do that. You have a backup plan when one thing's not working and when you need to put something else in place to help productivity, you find it very easy to do that. When you have to multitask and bring things in, most business people generally try to have a backup plan to know how to incorporate something else into the plan. So maybe you have experienced that too. You find yourself saying, I haven't done this in a while, but I know how to do it. Yeah. That is what people often mean when they say they had to dust off a skill. And if you've never had to do that, you've been one of the fortunate ones. It may have been unused, but it was not gone. It was still there. And when you recognize that, you begin to understand how powerful your lived experience really is when you recognize it. Skills, knowledge, and your competencies, they all make a difference. They all make a difference. Now let's talk about that. Knowledge is what you understand. It is information. It may come from education, observation, reading, research, training, or experience. Skills are what you can do, and they are applied abilities. Skills show up when knowledge moves from theory into action. And your competencies are the behaviors and patterns that help you perform successfully. In simple terms, knowledge is what you know. Skills are what you do. Your competencies are how you consistently show up to get results. For example, someone may know about communication. They may understand tone, listening, body language, and conflict resolution. But the skill is demonstrated when they communicate well in different conversations. Your competency shows up when the person consistently listens, responds with awareness, and manages tension and helps move the conversation toward understanding. That is why it is important to not only ask, what do I know? You also want to ask, what can I do with what I know? And then, how do I use what I know in a way that creates results? It gets better and better because knowledge by itself is powerful, but applied knowledge creates movement. This is where many people get stuck. They do not always connect with what they know to what they are capable of doing. They may have strong skills, but they have not named them. They have not been able to become the valuable experience that they could be. But they do know that it can be transferable. You can transfer your skills. Yes. Sometimes you know that, but you just haven't exercised it in any way. And then it may have been your personal qualities that make them effective. Sometimes people personally just have an air or a way about them that makes it easy to move that valuable experience into another setting, and it makes it so transferable. So today I want you to begin seeing yourself differently. You are not starting from nothing. You start from a collection of life lessons, work lessons, personal strengths, and practical abilities. That is a powerful place to begin. Before we go to our first break, I want to leave you with a few questions just to think about. What skills have you stopped using that may have value? Just think about it. What knowledge have you gained through that experience that you have not fully appreciated? What abilities come naturally to you, but may be useful in a new season? And where in your life are you being invited to learn, to grow, to stretch? These are all important questions that sometimes when we pause, when we take a minute, it's good to just give an evaluation of yourself, I like to say. Evaluate your experience, evaluate your knowledge, see where you are, what you have, what you know, what you're using, because those are the things that can make a difference in self-directing your experience and taking things into a new season, or having or planning for what if I want to do this, to do something different. When we come back, we're going to go deeper into self-directed learning and why it is one of the most important life skills you can develop. You know, I talk about life skills a lot, but I'm getting deeper into it in this episode because you know more than you are using. So stay with me. And when we come back, we're going to go deeper and I'll have more to share on self-directing your knowledge.
Do you ever feel stuck? Like you know you are capable of more, but you are not quite sure how to move forward? Gloria Sloan's life coaching program is designed to help individuals break through limiting beliefs, build self-confidence, and gain clarity both in their personal and professional development. Through personalized coaching, Gloria works one-on-one with clients to create clear plans, strengthen mindsets, and reconnect them with their purpose. Gloria's life coaching program is virtual, flexible, and results-driven, with a supportive structure designed to keep you focused, accountable, and moving forward with confidence and momentum. Clients gain clarity, confidence, and the tools needed to unlock their full potential from the inside out. Gloria's belief that ultra-successful people are always learning and seeking new ways to find fulfillment and elevate personal development is what drives her fierce dedication to her clients. Are you ready for your next chapter to begin? All it takes is one powerful decision. Make that decision now and visit www.gloriasloan.com and book your consultation call today. Gloria's ready when you are. It's time to begin your journey.
Welcome back to the Gloria Show. Today we're talking about self-directing your learning and using your skills, experience, and personal strengths to move forward with intention. What self-directed learning really means. What does it really mean? So now let's talk about self-directed learning. Self-directed learning is the process of taking responsibility for your own growth. It means you do not wait for someone else to tell you what you need to learn. Remember that. You begin paying attention to your own goals, the gaps of things that you want to learn, taking more interest and reviewing and finding opportunities. You take that responsibility on to help you in your growth and to help self-direct your learning. And you ask yourself, what do I need to know next? What skill would help me grow? What knowledge would help me become more effective? What resource could help me be better and to understand this? And as a life coach, I hear these questions. I hear these things from people who are looking to grow, looking to do something different. They know how to do many things, but they just don't know what works for them, what would put them in a better space. If you're looking to grow, if it's looking for opportunities, if it's looking for a salary range or an increase in things that you can incorporate with what you already know how to do, these are questions that you have to ask yourself. What do you need to know next? What skill do I need to help me? And what knowledge would help me? And what resource could help me? Who can I learn from? And that's important too, because often you may look for a mentor or someone who is doing something that you want to do or you desire to do, and that is a helpful resource right there. And then you say, what outcome am I trying to create? What do you want to create for your life? And we've talked a lot about your future self and all the things you want to do. This is just a way of stretching it a bit to get you to focus intentionally on your self-directing what you already know. Self-directed learning is not about doing everything alone. That is important. It does not mean you never ask for help. It means you take the initiative. You become an active participant in your own development. It's called self-improvement. You may take a class. You may read a book. You may watch a training webinar. You may work with a coach. You may volunteer for experience. And those are just some options, because there are some people who've had used their time to volunteer and through that volunteer experience obtained something very valuable, a position, something new, something that they totally did not expect from it, but it came. And it really does happen. If you want to volunteer in a space that offers something that is of interest to you. And then you may practice a skill repeatedly until it becomes stronger. Yeah. You may ask questions. You may observe someone who is already doing what you want to do. And I touched on that earlier through mentoring. You may reflect on your own experiences and pull lessons from them. When you look at what you have done, what you already know, and I have spoken with so many people about this, and they say, well, I used to do this, and when I got out of school, I did this. I bet they have so many things that they have done and that they really enjoyed and that they liked it. And some even had jobs and opportunities and work in the experiences, but they went on to something else. You reflect on your own experiences and you pull from the lessons you learned from them. That is learning with intention. And self-directed learning is especially important in seasons of transitions. When changes come about and a transition sets in and you know that there are things happening that you need to move on, do better, You are changing careers, maybe, whether it came from a layoff situation, a company merger, or it's just time to do something different in your business. You're growing a business. And then it could be you're stepping into a leadership role. When you are building your confidence, you need to look at all of those avenues. When you are preparing for a new opportunity, you have to explore your learning options. When you are trying to figure out what comes next, this is where the point when you stop waiting for permission to grow. You must decide that your development matters enough for you to participate in it. Show up for yourself. Be there. And that's when we talk about the power of self-assessment. I love to talk about the power of self-assessment because, as I said earlier, sometimes you have to take a few minutes to pause and think about where you are, what you're doing. One of the most important parts of self-directed learning is self-assessment, looking at your own self to see where you are. Self-assessment means taking an honest look at where you are, what you know, what you need, and where you want to go. And I think it's just a good, healthy thing mentally to do this on occasion anyway, even if you feel like you're in the best, happiest places ever and your life is just great. It's still a good time to just pause and do a self-assessment, not to criticize yourself, but to get a better understanding. And it makes it clearer in your head where you are, what you're doing. It's a kind of clarity, if you want to call it that, because it gives you an opportunity to take that deep breath and say, yeah, I've been doing this for 3 years, 5 years. I just started doing this. Do I want to keep doing this? What else can I learn from it? And when you understand where you are, you can make better choices about where you're going. That's part of the process. You have to understand where you are to know where you're going. You know, in my book, Life Skills for the Journey, Ways to Elevate and Upgrade Yourself, you know, I talk in a chapter about how people have been in situations and they wanted to move higher, do something different. And I gave several examples of how they could elevate. And it was called a learning path and whether that learning path is right for you. You will find that in Life Skills for the Journey because I do offer that in terms of how you can look at yourself and do an evaluation on your experience, your knowledge. So you ask yourself, again, I have many questions for you. Is this in my vision as a goal? Is it significant to my purpose? Once you do that evaluation, you ask yourself those questions. Is it my vision? Is it in my purpose? Is the learning process realistic? Because you want to set realistic goals. And is it a meaningful measure of study? If you're thinking about going back to school or taking some classes, or if you want to engage in webinars, there's so many things now that are available to enhance your learning and your capabilities. You know, you can find these opportunities. You have to make sure it aligns with your values. You look at where you are, what you're doing, you know, and you move on to something that you want to explore, new territories. You want to get into a new season. And you may just really want to have what I like to call the backup plan for something else that you know how to do. You can self-direct that. Those questions are powerful and they help you avoid learning to stay busy because you're learning with a purpose, you're learning with a goal, and it has meaning for what you're doing. Not every opportunity is your opportunity. Remember that. Not every skill needs to be developed right now. Sometimes things come in season, and not every class, program, certification, or training belongs in your current season. You have to study it and make sure that that's a good match for you. Sometimes people chase growth without direction. And I've talked with people about this before. They're chasing something and they have no direction in terms of where to go to find it. And if it is really part of their pursuit in life, or is it just something they want to do? How many times have you you get certifications after certifications, you obtain the knowledge, but then how does that impact your growth? And what direction did it put you in to be in a better place or space than you were? They keep adding information. Do they know how to use it for a purpose? Self-directed learning should connect to your life. It should connect to your values, your goals, and your next steps. Yeah, self-directed learning should do that. That does not mean every learning experience must be tied to a job or income. Yeah. Some learning is for joy. Some learning is for healing. Some learning is for creativity. Some learning is for personal confidence. Some learning is for service. The point is to know why you are learning. Yeah, and just think about that. Some learning is for the creativity. Some people do things in art because they want to be a little more creative. Some people do things in healing because they want to learn more about well-being in that sense. And some people want to have more personal confidence. And some people want to learn more to be of better service in certain areas. The point is to know why you are learning. Because when you know your why, and we've talked about that, you can stay committed with the process that requires you to move forward in your learning. When you know your why, when you know why you want to do this, you know why you want to do it. And learning will require you to be, efforts. You have to put forth the effort. You have to grow through that effort. Growth always asks something of us. And through that effort, it takes time, attention, and practice. Those are important things. Growth will always require us to put forth more effort. Got to pay attention to what you want, what you're asking for, what you're moving into. And then if it's something that requires practice, then you've got to incorporate the time to make sure you can practice what it is that you want to know more of or learn how to do. And sometimes it's just asking us for some patience, because sometimes things don't come overnight. You have to have some patience. And then sometimes you have to be humble, humility. Because when you are learning something new, you must be willing to be ready to have the patience, because everything is not perfect at first. And that alone is a life skill learning that you have to be willing to be patient. Before we go to our next break, I want you to think about some things. This is kind of like why I like to do this, to give you some thought in between. Where are you being invited to grow? That's a big question. You've been invited to grow, but have you been avoiding the learning process? Think about that. Sometimes opportunities are right in front of you, and you've been avoiding it. Where have you been told Oh, look at you. It's too late. Are you telling yourself that? I'm too old? No, it's not. And then you've said, I don't know enough, or I can't start over. Are those questions you're actually asking, or you're trying to tell yourself that? No. What if the truth is that you already have more than enough experience to begin? And now you need to direct your learning toward the next steps. That's the most important part. You're not too old. You already know more than what you think you know. So the direction is, what are the next steps that you take? And when we come back, we're going to talk about hard skills, soft skills, transferable skills, and how to use them as you build your next chapter. Stay with me. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you growing in the direction of your aspirations? Did you know your life's journey is shaped by the choices you make today? Now is the time to invest in yourself to grow, elevate, and upgrade your life. In Life Skills for the Journey, Gloria Sloan offers a transformational guide to unlocking your full potential. Blending practical tools, inspirational wisdom, and proven life skills, this book empowers you to take control of your future with confidence and clarity. From decision-making to self-discovery, from vision to action, this book is your blueprint for personal growth. And now, you can go deeper with the Life Skills for the Journey Companion Workbook, a powerful tool filled with practical exercises, reflective prompts, and engaging challenges designed to help you apply these principles to your own life. Your personal development is your life. It's your evolution. Take the next steps in becoming the best version of yourself. Your journey starts now. With Life Skills for the Journey and its companion workbook, it's time to invest in yourself and lead the life you were meant to live. Available now on Amazon.
Welcome back to the Gloria Show. Thank you again so much for joining me today. We're talking about hard skills, soft skills, and transferable skills. We're going to include that in our conversation on self-directing your knowledge. So now let's talk about skills. There are hard skills and soft skills, and they both matter. Hard skills are specific abilities that can usually be taught, measured, or evaluated. Those are hard skills. These may include writing, technology, accounting, project management, data analysis, design, marketing, technical training, or industry-specific knowledge. Hard skills are often gained through education, certification, training, or hands-on practice. Those are your hard skills. So look at those that you have. And then there are soft skills. Soft skills are different, but just as important. Soft skills are personal attributes that affect how you work, how you communicate, how you lead, solve problems, and interact with others. These include your communications, your critical thinking skills, your teamwork. Are you a good team player? Your leadership abilities. How do you lead? Your time management. Do you know how to handle your time management? And your emotional intelligence. How do you handle problem solving? Are you adaptable? And your work ethics. Those are soft skills. Now, I want to pause here because soft skills are sometimes treated as secondary. But let me tell you something. Soft skills can make or break an opportunity. You can have strong technical ability, but if you cannot communicate, collaborate, manage pressure, or build trust, your effectiveness will be limited. So the soft skills have to complement what you know technically. On the other hand, strong soft skills can help you navigate complex situations with wisdom. They help you work with people. They help you lead. They help you to serve. And they help you to adjust. They help you build relationships. And relationships often open the doors that lead to other opportunities that talent alone cannot. When you can build a good, strong, solid relationship, often doors open to other things. And no matter how good you are at something, but it's the relationship that you have built. And that's heavy and it's strong. But then we have the transferable skills. Transferable skills. They are the skills you carry from one area of life to another. And many of you out there have done it, and you're still doing it now. These are skills that travel with you. Yeah, have you ever applied for a position or you've gone to talk to someone in an interview setting and you have listed certain things that the employer is looking for, but then in the conversation, something else comes up and it's a whole different conversation. I had someone tell me not long ago that they had applied for a position and they were invited to come in to do the interview. And right in the heart of the interview, she thought she was interviewing for the job she had applied for. But as it turned out, they presented another opportunity in front of her when they had a chance to personally meet her, talk with her, and got involved in the interview process and just point blank, put another higher level opportunity right in front of her. And it was just so rewarding to her. And I said, it was all there all the time. So even when you are looking to expand on another job opportunity, don't leave an opportunity unopened when you see it there. You have learned a lot. And you may have learned a lot through different settings. And so it's important that when you do have the opportunity to discuss other things that you know, key in on it, especially if you're in an interview and they ask, and it could lead to another opportunity. You could step in the door with one position, and before you know it, there's another one available. And I have seen this happen to people before, when they are looking to grow. And sometimes people who aren't even looking to grow, but your natural abilities, just things you know how to do, just put you in that space. And those are gifts. Those are talents. Yeah. And that's a good way of self-directing your learning and how you have contributed over the years. You've coordinated family schedules, you've planned a lot of events, you've managed budgets, you've communicated with diverse personalities, you've helped people to meet deadlines on things, you've solved a lot of problems. You know how to do more than you think. And you've developed real life skills. Those are skills. And they may not always appear on a formal job description, but they are valuable. The key is learning how to name them, because what you cannot name, you may not know how to use. And what you do not know how to use, you may undervalue. So using your skills to move forward, you have to keep that in mind. Know how to name what you do. One of the theories in my book that I talk about reminds us of the power of transferable skills. A business opportunity, to submit a proposal, to consult on an online project. And this example I put in the book. The project required a combination of technical writing skills and social media communication. And at first glance, those may have seemed like separate areas, But with the right perspective, those skills work together. Technical writing brought structure, clarity, and accuracy. Social media communication brought creativity, connections, and audience awareness. And together, those skills created a stronger opportunity for this person. That is what happens when you learn how to connect your knowledge. You stop seeing your experience as separate pieces and start seeing it as a full toolkit. This matters when you are transitioning. It matters when you are considering a career shift. It matters when you are starting a business. It matters when you are returning to the workforce. It matters when you are reinventing yourself. It matters when you are asking, what now? Your talents and abilities travel with you. Keep them handy always. You do not want to leave everything behind when you enter a new season. If you're walking or going into a new season and you know you're going to be making a transition, you bring your wisdom, you bring your experience, you bring your talents, your gifts, you bring your insight, you bring your work ethic, and you bring your ability to learn in that new season. And the ability to learn may be one of the biggest assets that you have. Bring that with you. So I want to give you 3 practical steps from today's message, from my episode. 3 practical steps. First, self-assess your willingness to learn. Be honest with yourself. Are you open to growth? Are you willing to practice? And next, are you willing to be uncomfortable while you learn something new? Second, define your learning goals and identify the skills needed. Do not just say, I want to grow. Ask, in what area? Know where you want to grow. What skill would help me? What knowledge do I need? What outcome am I working toward? And third, take initiative. Create a plan and evaluate your outcomes. Learning becomes more powerful when it has direction. Create a simple plan. Follow through. Reflect on what is working. Adjust what needs to change and keep it moving. As I close today, I want you to remember this. You are not empty. You are not without value. You are not starting from nothing. You have knowledge. You have skills. You have lessons. You have experience. You have abilities that can be strengthened, transferred, combined, directed towards something meaningful. And this is where skill stacking becomes so important. Skill stacking is the practice of taking the skills you already have and intentionally combining them to create greater value, stronger opportunities, and new possibilities. Sometimes your next chapter does not require one brand new skill. Sometimes it requires you to look at the skills you already have and ask, how can these work together? Your communication, leadership, technical, problem solving, creativity, lived experiences, and ability to learn can all contribute to a stronger personal and professional toolkit. Self-directed learning is not only about professional growth, it is about personal ownership. It is about saying, I am responsible for my growth and I am willing to participate in my own becomings. So this week, please do not, ignore the things that I am sharing with you. Just simple exercises. Make a list of your skills, your hard skills, your soft skills. Write down the things you often ask people to help you with. Write down what comes natural to you. Write down what you've learned through your work life, your personal life, your service, your experience. And then you ask yourself those questions. What can I use now? What do I need to be strengthened? What skills can I start learning? Because your next chapter may or may not require all that you think. It may simply require you to recognize what has already been developing within you. And now you have to stack those skills with wisdom and intention. And in our next episode, we're going to continue this conversation by talking about skill stacking, how to combine what you know, what you do well, and what you are still willing to learn to create opportunities, confidence, and growth. Thank you for joining me today on the Gloria Show. I look forward to continuing this journey with you. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, keep directing your knowledge toward the life you are called to build. Thanks again for being with me today. Goodbye for now.
You've been listening to The Gloria Show. Be sure to check out www.gloriasloan.com for more tools, strategies, and inspiration. And don't forget to connect with Gloria on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Until next time, stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep moving toward your best self.